What's up guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be talking about 3 things that I wish I knew before I bought my F80 M3. And these are things that can apply to the M3 or the M4 that I kind of want to touch on today. And they are not things that would have deterred me from buying the car if I had known beforehand. But they would have been kind of nice to know going into ownership of the car, but I guess how do you really know some things until you just kind of jump in and own the car? So the first thing I want to talk about is traction control. I think a lot of people know, it's common knowledge that this car struggles to put the power down. Even from the factory, 425 horsepower on the stock Michelin Pilot Sport all-season tires or whatever, which is what I'm running, by the way, it really still struggles to put the power down. And I have a boot mod stage 2 tune making upwards of like 525 horsepower. And I know a lot of people put wider tires on it, they go square stance, and that helps a lot. Even still, like I've watched videos online of people putting wide tires like that and still struggle to put all the power down compared to like an all-wheel drive, you know, like RS3 or any Audi really for that matter. So that's kind of why I think the G80, the BMW went all-wheel drive. They wanted to keep up in the game with, you know, 0 to 60 acceleration, and you have to do all-wheel drive to do that basically. So I mean, but that being said, this car is a lot of fun and it handles extremely well. It's just off the line. The traction is just not as good, especially with the tune and the stock tire setup. And then the other issue with traction control is the actual traction control system. I've talked about this in a previous video. Going around cloverleaf roundabouts onto the highway, that I can't even, I'll be going like 30 miles an hour and it'll be flickering so much that I'll have like my foot on the gas and the car won't be going anywhere. And then it'll come back on and it'll jolt me forward because the power kicks back in, and it's like honestly dangerous. And so I hate that. And so you have to literally turn it off or partially off to go around a lot of those tight ones. And I don't know if it's just with my car or all F80s. Did you hear the car a little bit? Oh, there's a turtle. I just saved a turtle off the road. All right, I had to collect my thoughts after saving that box turtle off the road. So that kind of wraps up traction. I don't know how much better the AMG C63 is with traction. I never really did any research on YouTube or heard anyone talk about it, so therefore I can't comment. I do know the Audis are a lot better because of the all-wheel drive. That brings me into my next complaint or thing I wish I knew about the car when I bought it, was highway driving. When it is windy out, I don't know if it's all M3s, M4s, but it is absolutely awful to try and keep the car straight. It is so touchy and the back end wiggles around so much. I don't know if it's the stance that I have on this car and all of the negative camber on both the front and the rear. That's what my brother thinks it is, and the way it's lowered and everything, which you would think the lowering would help it kind of stay more planted and stuff. Anyways, I just expected for a performance car for it to be a lot more, for it to feel a lot more planted at high speeds on the highway, and it really does not. Like, I've driven, my mom had a E350 Mercedes. She bought it brand new back in 2014, and that thing at high speeds, like at a $120, felt so planted and solid. It was completely stock, of course, and it was more luxury based, and that thing just felt so planted. This does not feel as planted to me, and I'm assuming it's because of the camber, but I'm not sure. If anyone is watching this and owns an F80 or F82 and has that same issue on the highway, please let me know, because I'm curious to see if other M3, M4 owners experience that at highway speeds, because it is just not feel like, I wouldn't want to take this on long road trips on the highways and have it be super windy, because it's like you're 2 hands on the wheel, like trying to focus on keeping it in between the lines sometimes when it's really windy. Parked up now. The third thing I wish I knew coming into this car was the lack of storage space. My God, this car has absolutely no storage space. Like, seriously, zero. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're outside the car now. I'm gonna show you how little space there is to store things in this car. Now, if you're like me and this is gonna be your daily driver, you want a little bit of storage, don't you? Like, I get it, it's a sports car, it's a performance car, you're buying it for the driving experience, but come on, you gotta store some things, some gum, some sunglasses, your wallet and keys when you're driving. So let's hop in and let me show you. So you open the door, you've got the driver's seat right here. You've got this little door panel right here with this seemingly cup holder like thing, but you cannot put a bottle in there. Let me show you. And yeah, if you couldn't tell, I like the color orange. You can put this in there, but it's not really made for anything. Like, it just doesn't hold anything very well, and you definitely cannot put a drink without a tight sealed lid in there. And then it kind of just goes back in there. It doesn't do much. So then you jump in and you're looking head on with the wheel, and you have these 2 measly cup holders right here that are tiny, and you cannot put something that is tall and wide because it'll rub on this right here, which is why I specifically bought this skinny hydro flask on Amazon to fit in my car. That's literally why I bought this, to go in here, and you can see it barely fits. And then you have this little compartment with God knows what that is for right there. Like, honestly, let me try and put the key in there. All right. Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple fobs on there. Yeah, that's not closing. And then you've got, like, why do you have a cigarette lighter in here? Who knows? Who even knows at this point? And then you have the whole console. Open up this to reveal this tiny little space here, which is where I store my keys and my wallet while I'm driving. And then you have the frickin' USB cable plug right there with no little hole to run it through while you're charging your phone, so you just have to close it down on the cable while you're charging, which is such a stupid design. Why they didn't make it, I mean, I guess I can buy one to go in here, but it's just, why did they not put that one right there? It doesn't make any sense. Then we move on to the glove box, and I've got a few random things in here. Glove box is absolutely tiny. I mean, you can see in there, my hand is touching the back. It is so small. So I just keep a few random things in there. And then you've got the same door thing on the other side. Then if we move on to the back, you've got this tiny little one right here that you literally cannot put anything in there. Like, that's how small it is. It literally fits in there just barely. And there is no other storage space back here except that same thing on that side as well. And no cup holders in the middle. And get to the back. And here's where you do have a decent amount of space. I mean, it is a good sized trunk for the car. And you've got the nice net over here, which I do like. That kind of separates some stuff that you don't want rolling around, which is very nice. And then you've got this area over here with your little patch kit, I believe, and stuff like that. So yeah, you literally have no storage room in this car at all. And although that is not something that would have mattered if I knew before buying this car, because I still would have bought the car because I love the car, but those are 3 things that I wish I did know before buying this car, just so I would have been mentally prepared, I guess, because, I don't know, it is kind of a hassle sometimes. And just to add on to the storage aspect, the livability, like the daily livability with this car is a little bit harder than I thought. This car is lowered about 2 inches, I believe. You can see right there. And it is lowered a good amount. So, driving in Kansas, where I live, is fine because the roads are nice, but whenever I go over to Missouri, the roads absolutely suck. There's potholes everywhere. There's big, you know, hard ruts and just stuff in the road, and it is just, gotta watch out for stuff. The other day I was driving on the highway in Kansas, actually, and there was a ladder in the road, and I had luckily just switched lanes, but there was a guy in a truck that literally had to straddle it as I was up next to him because he could not get over because I was on one side and there was a car on the other side. So luckily he was in a truck, but he literally had to straddle this ladder in the middle of the highway going 70 miles an hour. If I would have hit that ladder in this thing, I don't know what would have happened. It would have gotten wedged up under there, I guess, and I would have been driving with a ladder stuck under there until I slammed on my brakes. I literally do not know what would have happened. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Guys, I just hit 67,000 miles in the M3. Wow. Just wanted to put that in the video right before the end. So yeah, new milestone. I feel like just 2 videos ago I hit 66,666 miles. So we've put a lot of miles on the car lately. I gotta probably slow down a little bit.